My family has discovered that I am well off, and now they are demanding that I shell out $35,000 for a vacation, even after I have paid off all the mortgages on their homes. I am 46 years old, married, and a mother of 3 children. Over the past 10 years, we have thrived financially. I worked tirelessly in my highly profitable field, made some savvy investments that paid off, and my bank account has steadily grown during these years. My husband considers this wealth as ours since we don't have a prenuptial agreement. However, as soon as the first significant amount arrived, I did what we had previously discussed. We paid off the mortgages, bought a new car, and acquired a beautiful home. We also reserved our favorite vacation destination, and for most of the year, we rented our home to a friendly family. Furthermore, we set aside funds for our children's college, each with an equal share. We believe this will be enough to cover 5 years of education. If there's any money left over, the kids can use it to purchase their own home or apartment. Thanks to the investments stemming from my work, I am now looking into ways to benefit my immediate family. My husband has 2 sisters, and we have 5 nephews on his side, along with 2 of my brother's children. We decided that all of them would also receive funds for college, in the same amount we allocated for our own children, under the same strict conditions. I would be in charge of tracking the costs and ensuring that everything is covered. My eldest niece has already started college, so I covered the costs already incurred by her parents to maintain fairness. She managed to complete it in 4 years, and there was some money left over. Additionally, I enlisted the help of an accountant, who was a dear friend of mine, to guide my brother and one of my sisters-in-law regarding their mortgages. I took on most of the payments for both. My parents were treated to a trip since their home was paid off. As for my in-laws and other sisters-in-law, I helped with a portion of their rent, allowing them to save that money. Additionally, we allocated a portion of our fortune to charity organizations, both domestically and internationally. We also established college funds for the children of our close friends and family as a gift. My husband and I decided together to reduce holiday expenses with both my family and his. So far, everyone is very grateful. However, one of my sisters-in-law always seems to want to be in the spotlight, or for her children to be the focus. She acts friendly in my presence, but I'm sure she speaks ill of me, making passive-aggressive comments about my work and me. However, she always does it in a way that any criticism from me would make me look like the bad guy. My strategy that always works is to act as if I'm innocent and don't understand, criticizing what she says in a constructive manner. This has allowed me to silence her many times without being labeled as an unpleasant person. In recent years, my sister-in-law has been hinting that I should finance a wonderful vacation at an all-inclusive resort for her and her family abroad. She argues that they had saved money initially intended for their children's college funds but had to use it due to the pandemic. She and her husband take this seriously, and now that restrictions have been practically lifted, she has organized a birthday party for herself and her son. Since her son really wanted a birthday party, it wasn't a problem. We brought a gift for her and her son, and everything was fine. The birthday boy received a voucher to buy a tent or camping equipment, which he wanted. My sister-in-law got a voucher to use as she pleased. I added some sunscreen drinks since I knew she was thinking about going on vacation. When she asked about our vacation plans, we said we weren't going to cross foreign borders and that we were going to stay in our home country. However, we booked a cabin somewhere for a nice, no-frills week, where we would still need to cook and shop. My sister-in-law began hinting at something and started suggesting ideas to avoid a disaster. We mentioned the possibility of having family at a location where they could stay for a weekend or a camp with entertainment for kids of various ages. That's when she showed us something she found on the internet, and to be honest, it looked amazing. It wasn't overly luxurious, but it was still very nice. It was an all-inclusive water park, including a children's spa. The total price was $35,000 for a family of 7. My husband said it was too expensive, but he was glad they had saved for it. That's when my sister-in-law said something unexpected. "Oh no, we thought you would pay for it as my birthday gift." She expected me to give $35,000 as a birthday gift simply because I had the money. She continued arguing that I earned enough, and their family, as well as our godson and other nieces and nephews, had already received similar promises. We all fell silent, stunned. The birthday boy and 2 of his sisters even looked at us while playing with the little kids. My husband started laughing, thinking it was a joke, but my father-in-law just sat there and stared. My sister-in-law was dead serious. She was clearly expressing her disdain for me and my work, but in a passive-aggressive way disguised as sweetness, making it difficult to confront her. My husband and even her own father tried to make her understand, but she kept insisting that I should pay for it. Finally, I regained my composure and said the one sentence she didn't want to hear, "But you have the money." It was true, I could afford it. She tried to interrupt me, saying it was great, but I wouldn't do it. She kept arguing, claiming she deserved it and that I earned enough. I replied, "Yes, it's true that I have the money, but I won't pay for it." She was shocked and continued to insist, but I explained that it wouldn't be in her bank account, and I intended to do it as a joke. My sister-in-law and my brother-in-law continued to insist on how much they believe I should pay for all of this. I told them, "Listen, you have repeatedly shown that you don't respect me or my line of work. You don't appreciate the fact that I worked hard and made sacrifices to earn this money. You ignore the fact that I paid off your mortgages and financed your children's college education, in addition to contributing money to your homes." They uttered insults and even told people that my husband should divorce me. My sister-in-law made a desperate effort to deny this, and my brother-in-law called me a liar. My father-in-law joined me in this discussion, and even his own children could testify that they heard their own mother saying terrible things about me. The birthday celebrant even recorded a conversation with her while making a TikTok video and showed it to us. The conversation continued, and my sister-in-law realized she wouldn't get the expensive vacation she desired. She then said it was okay, they wouldn't pay for that vacation. However, she suggested that I at least pay for the plane tickets and let us stay in our vacation home, which is our favorite destination. She forgot that we had rented the house to a local family for most of the year due to the pandemic, and they can't just leave as they are afraid to travel. I categorically rejected this idea. First, the family that rented the house can't be evicted, and second, such demands cannot be made. The voucher she received contained a very generous amount of money to be used as she wished, perhaps for a different kind of vacation. Besides, we also deserve a vacation, and we had already taken a vacation for ourselves. She had already received a generous gift, and if she wanted more money, she should seek a better paying job. I made it clear that she treated me poorly and still expected me to be at her disposal because of my money. My sister-in-law tried to involve her father in the conversation since he always favored her. She began talking about how tough things were before I earned money and helped them. However, my husband handled her brilliantly, explaining the situation and the efforts we had made. After a long conversation, my father-in-law also understood and agreed with our stance. Now comes the part where I simply laughed. Apparently, my sister-in-law's children are upset with her for acting this way and have gone into rebellious mode. This worried me, as we have a great relationship, and I feared this could affect our relationship. We had an honest conversation in which I explained that we didn't blame the young ones for their parents' actions. I clarified the reasons why we weren't giving out more money after the initial gifts. The younger teen decided to support their mom and dad, but the others understood that they already knew about the generous funds we allocated for their college education. I emphasized that we didn't want them to act against their parents since they still live with them. I stayed for dinner and then returned home. From that moment on, the children rarely talk to their parents. They still carry out their duties and communicate about essential matters, but that's about it. However, unexpectedly, other family members entered the scene, acting like true flying monkeys. This happened because my sister-in-law sent messages to them and made a simple post on the birthday boy's Facebook with the video that ended the discussion. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law received a massive reaction from the flying monkeys, accusing them of not inviting them to certain events. Later, we received apologies from some of these relatives who admitted to being influenced. Some even said they were in a difficult situation because they understood both me and my sister-in-law. The only thing that makes me uncomfortable is that my in-laws are in the middle of all this, especially my mother-in-law, who is very family-oriented. Some of you may be wondering why I didn't just give the money. There are several reasons for that. The way she treated me even before I came into money and my discomfort with just handing out money. I would like you to express your opinions kindly. Am I wrong for not paying? Here's the second part of this whole story. My sister-in-law was very disappointed and angry because I didn't give in to all her whims and didn't pay for an expensive holiday. Some flying monkeys emerged due to my sister-in-law's actions. Most of them understood our position and left us alone. Unfortunately, my husband's entire family now knows that we have a bank account with a lot of money because my sister-in-law called many family members to complain and spill the beans. They started talking among themselves and with their children. Some aunts, uncles, and cousins didn't think it was fair for me to pay for some of the cousins' college funds and also pay for family vacations. This happened a few days after the fight with my sister-in-law. An aunt and uncle called us, something they rarely do. I put my phone on speaker while I was busy folding laundry. They asked how everything was, how we were doing during the conflict, and we shared some experiences. However, the conversation took a turn when they said, "We heard you have funds reserved for some of the cousins' college. Is that true?" I replied yes, it was true. "Is it true that you took the mother-in-law, the father-in-law's sister, one sister-in-law, two of them, and the family with you on vacations?" Once again, I confirmed it was true. Then they continued, "Well, we never knew you had so much money. A lot of hard work, sacrifices, dedication, and luck went into that." They went on to say, well, you'll also have to pay for the college funds for our 6 grandchildren, each one worth $800,000 per child. Additionally, we want a vacation home like yours, and we've already found one we want. We'll send you the information. And this also applies to our family vacations. Since you have money, you can pay for us." I was shocked and fell silent. They continued to vent that they deserve this because they are a family and that their families help each other. My husband, listening to the conversation, became increasingly irritated. At that point, I pressed a recording button and asked them to repeat their demands. I ended up asking if they had anything else to do, and they replied that they didn't. I unequivocally stated that this simply wouldn't happen. They might have thought they were entitled to my money, but they weren't. I reminded them of the phrase that many family members told us when my husband and I faced financial difficulties due to a health issue. We asked for help from all family members at that time, inquiring if we could borrow some money. Only 3 out of 9 aunts and uncles helped us, and we repaid those amounts. That's when they told us something very meaningful. It is each person's responsibility to have and save enough money for the well-being, care, and education of their own family. If they can't do that, then they don't deserve financial assistance from others. So, we wouldn't be giving them any more money. There was a stunned silence on their part. Then, I asked them to convey the message to the other family members and not contact us with such demands. Then, I hung up the phone. My husband was very proud in the following weeks because some of the other aunts, uncles, and cousins reached out with similar requests. However, only those who helped us during our difficulty called, expressing that the money was ours, and they didn't ask for more. A cousin also called asking for a certified loan for a house purchase, and I agreed to it. They had saved most of the amount but still needed $1,000 to complete the required sum. I believed that under these terms, they could acquire the house sooner. However, the surprise came when I received the first half of that loan. After that, we had a Zoom call with aunts, uncles, and cousins, where I explained my reasons for not distributing money to everyone. I made it clear that they could always turn to me in situations of genuine need, but under legal agreements, so that both parties felt protected. Some understood, though not entirely satisfied, that they could still request financial assistance. However, others did not accept this condition. The situation reached its peak when, last week, I arrived home on a weekday and found many cars parked on a street that was usually empty. I had to pass by my house and find another place to park because about 15 to 20 aunts, uncles, and cousins were gathered, maintaining social distancing in the front yard. 3 other uncles, 3 aunts, and some cousins and their spouses were also there. After parking the car, I returned home. Another detail is that some people don't know that I'm not someone to mess with, as my right hook can be very painful. As I was heading home, I called the non-emergency line of the local police department and explained the situation, warning that it could get out of control if they didn't come to help. They quickly sent some officers to the scene. When I entered the group of people, they started cursing at me, demanding that I pay one way or another. Some even surrounded me, pointing fingers at my face, chest, and arms. I repeatedly told them to stop what they were doing and step back. During this period, more police officers were called by some neighbors who witnessed the commotion. When the police arrived, they tried to arrest me, but one uncle made a serious mistake by slapping me. This drew attention since he was a tall man of nearly 6 feet 3 inches, while I, a woman, was only 6 foot. In front of the police, the crowd fell silent as one of the elder family members approached me, his face nearly inches from mine, delivering a rhetorical speech about how I should constantly obey him due to his position. He raised his hand as if to slap me again but couldn't continue his speech. Swiftly, I brought him to the ground. He lay on the floor, not unconscious, but visibly shaken and dazed from the punch I had given him. It seemed like this was what the police needed to intervene. Family members were shocked, and the police managed to disperse them. Some aunts, uncles, and cousins rushed to their cars, distancing themselves from the rest of the family to avoid trouble. They faced fines for breaking social distancing rules, and there's an expectation of possible charges against them. Despite the incident, I am fine, although I did hurt a few fingers during the altercation. My uncle had a broken cheekbone, and my beautiful cameras are now in the hands of my father, as other family members distanced themselves from the situation. Honestly, I feel terrible for tearing the family apart just because I decided not to distribute my money. My husband says this is the money we worked hard to earn, and therefore, we have the right to decide how to use it. However, I'm considering setting aside some funds for the other children's college education, even though it doesn't seem to be enough for some. I feel like I'm not defending my position the right way, and it's frustrating. The situation has reached a point where threats of violence and harassment are being used to pressure me, and I'm exhausted by it. It's astonishing how people can become so bitter when it comes to money, whether it's inheritance, professional success, or any other reason. It seems that even when you do your best to be fair and helpful to the family, like paying mortgages and funding children's education, there's still resentment. The operation really considered all aspects and tried to make things fair for everyone in the family. However, the sister-in-law continues to slander the operation. It's hard to understand how someone can request a $35,000 vacation for 7 people, especially if they don't intend to participate. Perhaps she believes this is normal due to precedents set in the past. Either way, it's a complex and challenging situation. If you were in my shoes in this situation, how would you use your money? How would you avoid a situation like this? Let me know your thoughts and whether you think I'm acting correctly or not. In the video on the HistoReddit channel, we explore an incredible story of a family caught up in a financial drama of epic proportions. From money division to threats and violence, this story has it all. Additionally, we discuss how generosity can often lead to unexpected conflicts. Don't forget to subscribe to the HistoReddit channel to not miss any of our exciting videos. Leave a like if you enjoyed this summary and hit the notification bell to stay updated on the most fascinating Reddit stories. Join our community of story enthusiasts and participate in the discussions in the comments. We look forward to sharing more captivating narratives with you. Until next time.